Hello everyone, welcome to Chess World. I'm covering here the Clutch Chess Tournament 2020 which is going on, and this was the first game played between the American-Italian Grandmaster Fabiano Caruana and the Cuban-American Grandmaster Leinier Perez. So this was the game one between these two in this tournament. Fabi had the white pieces, uh, Fabi had the black pieces, and Perez had the white pieces. So Perez started with e4, the king's pawn opening. Fabi replied with c6, Caro-Kann, d4, d5, and e5, the advanced variation of the Caro-Kann. Bishop to f5, h4, h5 by Fabi, and bishop to d3. Bishop takes d3, queen takes d3, and e6. Knight to f3, bishop to e7, and c5. D takes c, queen takes c4, and knight bd7. Queen goes to c2, c5, and this was an interesting move by Leinier Perez. d5, sacrificing a pawn. Fabi captures it. E takes d, and Perez pushes e6. Fabi captures it. F takes e, and now queen to g6 check. King f8. Queen captures e6. Bishop to f6. And white castles here. Now knight to e7, developing the knight. Knight to c3, putting some pressure on the d5 pawn. Rook to c8. Knight to g5. White already is threatening checkmate on f7. Black captures the knight and eliminates the threat of checkmate. Bishop captures g5. Bishop captures g5. And rook to c6, attacking the queen. Now bishop captures e7, check. Queen takes e7. Black is proposing the queen's exchange. White declines it and captures the d5 pawn. Knight to f6, attacking the queen. And queen goes to f3, pinning the knight. King to f7. Rook e1, rook f e1, attacking the queen. Queen goes to d7. And knight to e4, putting some pressure on the f6 knight. King goes to g6. Black wants to be able to get his rook into the game by rook at to e8. So he wants to hide its king on the h7 square probably. knight to g5, and rook to d6, queen to c3, rook to c8, defending the pawn on c5, and rook to d5. Now there is a double attack on the c5 pawn, so black pushes it. And this is a mistake of the game, but in the game white uh, did not take advantage of this move. Uh, White played rook to e1. The best move in this position was queen to c2 check, and when if let's say king goes to h6, then rook a e1. The best move here could be rook to d3, and now rook to e7, attacking the queen. Queen goes to f4, and now knight to f7 check. King goes to h7, and here there is a fork by the knight. Knight to d6, keeping in mind that the rook on d3 is pinned by the queen because the queen is hanging on f5, so black cannot capture the knight, and it is a good fork. Now black's queen is attacked, so say queen to g4, black will capture, white will capture, black recaptures, and b3. So white has a better position here. So this could have been winning for white, but instead of queen to c2, white played rook to e1, rook to d3 by Fabi, and queen to b4, b6, rook to e7, attacking the queen on d7, and queen to d6, proposing the queen's exchange. White declines it with queen to a4, attacking the a7 pawn twice. Black pushes it a5, and queen goes back to c2. Now the rook on d3 is pinned. Rook to c7. Black wants to exchange at least one pair of rooks. White declines with rook to e6. Queen to f4. g3, attacking the queen. And queen to f5. Queen to e2. Now the white has the full control of the e file. Rook to d7, doubling the rooks on the d file, and rook takes b5. Now if we go back a couple of moves, here it's black's turn, and black played rook to d7. Now what if black just defends the say b5 pawn with the rook? Then white could play rook to e5, attacking the queen, and this position is going to be bad for black. So black gave up a pawn to get back into the game. White captured the b6 pawn, rook to d8, and knight to e6, an excellent square for the knight, attacking the rook on the d8 square. Rook to d2, attacking the queen, and queen to e2, defending the f2 square. It was attacked twice by black's queen and the rook on d2. Rook to d6 and knight to f8 check. Here Fabi played king to f7 and rook to b7 check. Now it may seems like black can capture the f8 knight. Do you think Fabi captured it? Let's see what happens if black captures it. King captures the knight. Then there is this check, queen e7 check. King goes to g8 and queen takes g7 checkmate. So of course Fabi did not fell for the trap. He played king to g8 and now knight to e6, threatening the g7 pawn. Black played king to h8 and white played knight to g5, threatening rook to b8, king to g8. White plays rook to b8 check, rook d6 to d8, blocking the check. White captures the rook on d2 and black captures the rook on b8. Queen to d6, attacking the b8 rook. Rook goes to f8 and queen to d4, queen to c2. Now rook to e7, putting some pressure on the g7 pawn. Queen b1 check, king to g2, queen to f5, and knight to e6, attacking the rook on f8 and the pawn on g7. Here black played rook to e8. Do you see the tactic here? And after this move, black has to resign. There is like no defense sort of thing. So if you found out, congratulations, you're an excellent tactician. And for those who just want to enjoy the show, here white played knight takes g7. Now the queen on f5 is attacked, the rook on e8 is attacked, and of course it seems like black can capture the rook, but not really. If black captures the rook on e7 by rook, then the queen is hanging, so that would be completely lost for black. What else black can do? Let's say black cannot capture the knight because it is protected by the rook. So there is not any good move for black. So here at this moment, Fabi captured the rook on e7 and resigned the game because it drops the queen on f5 and sooner white will checkmate the black king. So yeah, this was the game. I hope you liked it. It was the first game played between these two grandmasters in this Clutch Chess International tournament. So I hope you liked it. If you did, give it the video a thumbs up and subscribe my channel for more future content. Thanks for watching.